That was a journey song called Eayoth. Eayoth translates to journey far by canoe. OCM, we'd like to share a little bit with you on some of the things we like to share with our kids during the winter months when the climate forces us indoors. Then it's time to be creative. So our winter months are spent in, repairing, creating regalia, making things, sharing history, stories, doing ceremonies. All of this takes place during the winter months. And our folks would travel by canoe to Vancouver Island, to Washington State, to Harrison up the Fraser River, to Chehalis, Sasquatch country, and ceremonies would take place. The folks would bring things with them that from their neighborhood. Our folks here, we brought gachmain, a thing called gachmain, which is sort of like a sunflower seed, but it also has beneficial properties in that it's good for your throat, it's good for headaches, it's good for colds, and we have a lot of that in Squamish territory. So we bring that with us when we travel. So things like that take place during winter ceremonies, and it is a way for us to hold our classrooms, our teachings. And the story I'm going to tell you about right now has a little bit to do with some of our teachings. And it is the story of Raven, Seagull, and the Daylight Treasure Box. It goes back to a time when there was no such thing as time, when all of creation were able to communicate with each other. Everybody was on the same level. Happiness was running rampant everywhere. The people were celebrating life, enjoying all of creation, basking in the light of the sun. I actually have songs that go with this, so I'm hesitating to where these songs go. And we've presented the story before with the songs that go with it. So that particular break right there has a song that is called Celebration of Life. We oh, we oh, we oh, we oh, we oh, we we oh, we oh, we oh, we oh, we oh, we and on the song goes. And the song is a celebration of life. All of creation, we're celebrating together in the light of the sun. And it was Seagull who figured out All of this was because the sun was providing so much light, and the sun provides warmth, happiness, light, and Siegel wanted to have that for himself. So while everybody was busy dancing and socializing and uh, staying 6 feet apart from each other, they had Siegel decided to move off by himself. And when the time was right, he took off and flew into the sky, grabbed the sun, dove down through the smokehouse, uh, the smoke hole in the smokehouse, into his own quarters, and hid the sun in his treasure box. These would be these boxes that were kept for things are kept, bed boxes, and all of creation went into darkness. Boom, black. People were crying. I say people, but I mean everyone. Um, Bears and killer whales and eagles and you name it. Everybody was living in fear until they finally came to their senses and said, "We have to do something. Somebody's got to do something. We don't know where Siegel went. We know he's got the sun, he's got the daylight, but we don't know where he went or how we're going to get that back." And Bear's going, "Pick me. I'll go over there and just clobber him one time and take the sun back." And the other animals, of course, were coming up with clever ideas. And it was Raven in the background going, "I've got a great idea. Why don't you let me take care of it? And it'll all be good. Trust me." So they thought about it for a while and they agreed that Raven probably was the closest to Seagull and there's no harm in letting him try. So what Raven did was it went, took a basket, cedar basket, went to the beach and started collecting sea urchins. And more sea urchins. He had this big woven cedar basket, urchins everywhere, which happens to be the seagull's favorite food. Raven went over to Seagull's house. "Cousin, hello, cousin. I have your favorite food, your favorite snacks. Mmm. And I have too many. I need some help finishing them." The sea urchins have those black spines on them, all those little spiny things. And so Seagull said, "Sea urchins, I'll be right there. Don't go anywhere." And Raven said, "Don't worry, cousin. I got lots for both of us. And we're going to have a great feast and great time. So I'll just wait here. You open the door, let me in, and away we go." Raven stepped back from the door a couple of paces, dropped some of the sea urchins onto the ground. The seagull came out. He goes, "Where are you? I can't see you." And he took a couple of steps forward, stepped on the sea urchins. "Ow, ow, ow." He got those little black spikes in his feet. And Raven goes, "Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, cousin, but I can get those out. Here, have a sea urchin while you're at it." And they're the best ones, big, juicy sea urchins. So Raven says, "Let's go back into the house and feast, and I'll get those out of your feet." So they went back in and sat down, and Raven is fumbling around, bumping those thorns and spikes and prickly things, and Seagull was going, "Ow, ooh, take it easy, ow." And Raven's going, "Yeah, I got one this time." And Raven says, "You know, if I had a little light, a little more light, I could probably, this would be done in no time, and we would be just sitting here having a great old time." Seagull says, well, over in the corner there is a box. If you lift the lid just a little bit on that box, you'll see. Just do it. So Raven went over, lifted the lid. Whoosh, all this light came out. He goes, all right, let's get down to business. Went over and started plucking these things out of Seagull's feet. He's going, what a great idea. Light, who knew? Have another urchin. And if I had more light, I'd probably get this done in no time. So Seagull says, be my guest. Open the lid a little bit more. So Raven goes, good idea, perfect, all right, we're on the same page. And he got up and said, I'm going to go over and get that lid opened up. But before I do that, I want you to kind of hold on to these huge sea urchins. And I want to get this one big needle out of your foot first. So Seagull sat there and said, good idea. And he waited. But Raven, instead of pulling out the needle, he pushed it with all his might. And Seagull screamed and his eyes slammed shut. He was in great pain. Ah! And so Raven, when that happened, that was his cue. He got up and he went over to the daylight box, opened it, picked up the sun in his beak, flew up to the smoke hole, up into the sky. And on his way up into the sky, he started changing. He started getting blacker and blacker from the heat and from the sun, from the flames. So he put the sun back in the sky and came back down, and all of creation was back living in harmony and happiness and living in the light of the sun again. And so they are all very happy and grateful to Raven, and creation, or the creator, seeing Seagull and listening to Seagull's song, changed his song a little bit for him so that he would, and we would always be reminded of that time when he tried to steal it all for himself. So the Seagull song today is, he's always crying for my son, my son. He still thinks it's his son. And Raven became black because of being scorched by the flames. And the lesson in this story, of course, is the greed of one, harmful for everyone. So be cool. We'll see you.